Israel to legalize, regulate recreational cannabis market within 9 months. Come on Joe, United States citizen. Tel Aviv I'm high AFRN. Come on Australia. Meanwhile NZ just failed to pass the vote to legalize it. Man, sometimes I hate where I live. Why is Germany such a pussy about this topic? I'm sorry, but what? Okay, US, our hat, our pants and now our religious center have legalized the plant. Let's go federal legalization here too. Dat real kosher kush. Fucking New Zealand dropped the ball on this so goddamned hard. They lost so much potential money and jobs. SMH, let my people grow. Conflict in that area to end in 10 months. I was in Tel Aviv once and I'm pretty sure everyone in Florentine is smoking weed. It needs legalized worldwide. It's only illegal because of self-entitled pieces of shit who think they're better than everyone. Legislators and anyone in politics. Saudis have picked a good time to become friends with Israel. /sad New Zealander noises /TFW Israel has a more progressive drug policy than America. Cries in India, where weed used to be legal before one of your presidents decided they hated drugs. I am getting seriously pissed off with the UK's stance on weed the more I see other countries sensibly doing things like this. Once COVID is over and the legalization happens, it might be a good time to visit. Imagine floating in the Dead Sea passing around a fatty. Operation Burning Bush. Israel. Don't make the mistake Canada has and corporatize your market. Many of the big box cannabis companies in Canada have tanked since the initial boom of legalization. The black market is still going strong because the big box weed is expensive and shitty. So many long-time cannabis growers and activists have been kept out of the game because of the corporatization of the industry here. I will continue to buy in the black market because of price, quality, and my desire to support the little guy in the industry. Damn, I might need to go get lit in Jerusalem. Kosher Kush is gonna be a hit out there. Israel has been studying marijuana for decades. A ton of research on pot is from Israel. If it's government-funded research, it's probably from Israel. The US has kind of used Israel to do the research, so the US is a-okay with them doing it, but can't unclutch their pearls long enough to reclassify the drug and make studying it possible. I'm shocked Israel didn't decriminalize and then legalize and regulate it years ago. Please Boris, do the same in the UK. As a Canadian living in a country that has legalized weed, I really need a ice cream bar. Lot of people bout to accidentally violate kosher dietary laws. Asterisk, hey man, what's in these oysters? Asterisk. Asterisk. Oysters star. Israel too now? What the actual fuck, New York. Hani imato vimanam. Shavet hm gam yachad. Meanwhile in NZ, a minuscule majority in a referendum gives politicians an excuse to bury legislation legalization for the foreseeable future. SMH. New Zealand just had a referendum to legalize and we voted no. New Zealand voted no. We are still very backwards. Removed. Legalized it, study it, find its positives and negatives along with all the other drugs. There were studies on LSD and acid that showed people with PTSD who took the drug managed to overcome and come to terms with their fear in their own way, since each case is different and you can't just slap a pill in their face because each person's unique, but the hallucinations helped each individual tap into those fears. Then the UD government ruled it all illegal because it was associated with the hippie movement, black people, and Hispanics. It really shows how fucked the government is, and they wonder why most of the younger generation don't trust them. Meanwhile in UK. What? I'm Israeli and I haven't heard of it? It's not already? When I was in Tel Aviv last year it was everywhere, people brazenly rolling up and in restaurant terraces. So. Peace in the Middle East is 9 months away. Got it? Duayud. Tel Aviv is seriously one of the chillest fucking cities on earth. Amazing place to visit, #beach life, #amazing food, #diversity, #good vibes, #nightlife, #scooters. If exports are going to be rocky due to COVID and uneasiness, then pot will bring in a whole new revenue that's pure profit. Wait, it's not the devil's lettuce. I guess it's time to go on a second birthright. Legalization with regulation is terrible. You should just decriminalize it completely with no regulation. We've seen what states have done with over-regulation of cannabis, and the black markets are just as strong as ever. Israeli here, and we are very liberal society here. Many accept legalization of weed. Many now get it for medical purpose also. It's a popular group activity in bars to smoke a blunt. The police try to not make a fuss about it most of the time. Also, even though it's illegal, many start-up companies have started working on it, and the world market can make our country a hotspot for weed exports. High-tech farming is a speciality in Israel, so many will make big bucks from this act. Till I'm Jewish and must return to the Holy Land ASAP in roughly 9 months. Democrats finally gonna legalize weed? They've never said anything like that during an election. This is why I'm a Zionist. Dope throne intensifies. Israel makes some great weed too. Tikkun Olam makes the best herb I've ever had the pleasure of enjoying. Check them out, in Cali, where they have a grow up. New Zealander here, fuck you boomers of New Zealand, we used to be so progressive, now we just follow behind everyone else. Pretty good. Amazing. I'm high. WTF. Lots of countries are now realizing that it's better to regulate than fight against it. Especially considering most countries have some level of medicinal use. I'm mostly looking at the UK and NZ. Both have some type of medical use but push back on anything else, inciting more gang use, more trafficking, more slavery and criminal activity. Great to see all these countries progressing. Hoping one day New Zealand can do it too. Massive cop-out on it this time. This is the way. Jesus likes this. Everyone legalizing cannabis, and then there's New Zealand. Cannabis makes cent dollar. LMFAO. My mom keeps trying to tell me legalization of marijuana is immoral and that God would not approve. LOL, tell that to Israel. Can't wait to try Oju Kush, good ol Jewish hash. Considering all the rules of kashrut surrounding seeds and oils, will this be available as a certified kosher product? What about for Puff Puff Passover? With the amount of weed I smelled in Israel, I'm amazed it has taken this long. Boris is slacking. Good, end the stupid drug war. Peace in Middle East at last. Nothing is said, there is no info about amount, there is only domestic use, no growing. Bibi is trying to buy off jail time. At first I read cannibalism and had to pause. Meanwhile in Sweden the government shot down a suggestion from our public health agency to investigate how our current drug legislation is working. Can someone let the NZ government know? For fuck's sake. It's still a Schedule 1 in America. Getting real tired of this shit. Hey Australia, grow the fuck up and get this shit done already. Go Israel. I cannot believe we just lost out on legalization in New Zealand, sad. And here I am in North Carolina, still fucking illegal. Fuck. This is real, this is happening. Peace and compassion to Israel and the world. Canada here, all the hand-wringing over legalization turned out to be a nothing burger. Oh, except usage rates among teens has dropped by half. Turns out having legal options to squeeze out illegal options is starting to work. Who'da thunk? Fun fact. THC was first discovered and isolated in Israel. https://en. Wikipedia, org/wiki/Raphael_Mekulam. Israel has a strong history of diversifying their economy to keep up with ever-changing times. They look forward even when they are flourishing. Wish we had more of that thinking in the US in some areas. Thank you Israel and Israelis for setting a good example. I remember Israeli police searched my apartment once during the last war with Hamas, suspecting we had weed. Lucky for us, we had just smoked it all the night before. This changes things.